Hello and welcome to an episode of Backstage with Boria with someone I've interviewed many times, but this is a different interview in a different context. HS Prannoy, one of the best that India has ever seen in badminton. I mean, all of us remember uh, the many matches that Prannoy has won, whether it's the Thomas Cup, whether it's the Asian Games, one of my favorite players. I mean, absolutely one of my favorite players. Prannoy, thank you very much for joining me. Different context. There's so much talk going on about whether the sport deserves or gets its deserved due in India. Players like yourself, Satvik and Chirag, Laksh, whether you all get, for this Thomas Cup bronze, do people recognize or not recognize? Do you guys feel disappointed, disheartened, upset? What is your take on the matter?
Well, I think first of all, yes, there's been a lot of chatter in the last 3, 4 days, and I think I think I really want to clarify what we really meant initially, and um, I think we should keep it to Thomas Cup, and I think that's what we all kind of wanted to, like because Thomas Cup being a world championship or a World Cup for us. Uh, and I think we have been playing Thomas Cup for the last as a nation. I think we have been playing for the last good 10 years, say 10 editions of Thomas Cup. Um, uh, Maybe more than that. I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to give a rough number here. Um and 90% of the time, I think we had been out of the Thomas Cup in the group stages,
Yeah.
which I remember, both in Sudirman Cup and Thomas Cup. We have never done well as a team because the competition is so high. First thing, it is a global sport where we have, I don't know how many countries playing. It's definitely more than 50 countries for sure. And we have the Asia is the powerhouse for badminton, and China and Indonesia has collectively won almost 30 Thomas Cup titles. And we have only six different nations who have won Thomas Cup title, where we are one among them. We have China, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Denmark, and India. This is what, if I'm not wrong, this is the six countries which has won Thomas Cup, which kind of shows how tough it is to kind of go out there and win a Thomas Cup. So the entire context of uh, obviously being disappointed post we came back was that like there was zero information to people on what was happening the entire 2 weeks when we were in Denmark and when we were playing Thomas Cup. I felt there were not enough media attention to the entire tournament. Uh, and I think, like, from the support which we meant, I really want to clarify that we have got immense support from the government, from the association, and from top side. I think everybody has been supporting us really well over the last 1 decade, to be honest. And I felt a lot of chatter kind of went to that side, saying that we are asking for support. We are not asking for that support for sure. We have been getting immense support, especially the top tier athletes. We have been able to play this sport for an entire year just because of the support which comes in from all these directions. So I just really want to clarify that there is absolutely no confusion on that side. But our entire thing was, if we don't celebrate a bronze medal in a Thomas Cup, then what are we going to celebrate going forward?
So let me play devil's advocate. When you say celebrate, in my case, I am putting this on record. I had reached out to you, to Chirag, to Arjun. Every single match, every single game was reported by my own platform. I wrote, I think, about seven columns myself, and all my reporters were on the story. So that's a personal one. Overall media, obviously, if you ask me, I am as disappointed as you, and that is an Indian story. Having said that, if I do soul searching, why was there no media manager with you? When a cricket tournament happens, say a ICC tournament, which is basically what the Thomas Cup is, there will always be a media manager who will act as a bridge between the player and the media. Take the Chinese Taipei game. The moment the Chinese Taipei match happened, if you ask me, had three players HS Prannoy, Satvik and Chirag, whatever, whoever, Ayush Shetty, put in front of the media, I am very confident that the media would have reported. So while I understand that it's frustrating and it's not the responsibility of the players, some media outlets like mine will come forward and do it. And we've done it for Olympic sport, and we will do more, much more than cricket. Having said that, we know the Indian scenario. So, what do we need to do? Let's also look ahead. How do we rectify this? Because frustration will result in nothing from your standpoint and my standpoint. We are together as a synergy. How do we improve it? My suggestion here is let there be a media manager for at least national multinational tournaments like this. When you play as India Asian Games, there will be a press attaché. Last Asian Games, Prannoy wins. Rajaraman brings Prannoy to the media. I request Prannoy, we get an interview done or stories done. Media pushes it. Here, unfortunately, there was no dissemination also. How does one address that question?
See, if I really don't know because we have never had that kind of a structure in place where you are asking me a media manager. We never had that, and I don't think going forward also we might have a media manager with the team, which I doubt really. Uh, but I feel as a sport, like I've been feeling this since quite some time. I feel that as a sport, badminton kind of peaked very early. Probably in 2007, 2008, it all started where Saina kind of went on to win that and started to play really well in that Olympics, and things started to fall in place uh, for badminton. Since then came the 2012 Olympics where she medaled, and then obviously we had a ton of players who came post that, um, and and definitely Sindhu's two medals, obviously in the last one decade, also made the game very popular. Yes, so I feel that our sport has kind of reached a stage where now, if we are not playing, if we are not winning a gold medal, it is not a news anymore, right? I remember back in 2014, 2015, 2016, in all these times, whenever we used to play a quarterfinal or a semi-final or a final of a super series, there used to be a good buzz around the media activities. And for sure, it used to be a news. If you beat a top ranked player, it used to be a big news. There used to be big articles which used to come in, which definitely used to motivate us. But I think down probably in the last few years, obviously with the achievements which we had in the past, there has been a baseline which has been set. Yes, it's kind of high over there where everybody obviously is looking at being a world champion, being an Olympic champion, being an All England champion. Nothing below that kind of gets appreciation, and I think that's where I really wanted to request everybody, saying that yes, we have had a good time, yes, but now from here, how do we grow as a sport?
Correct.
It is not like every single year we are going to hit that peak. There were few exceptional players which we had in our Indian team which did a lot of good results, which got in a lot of good results. But that doesn't mean that going forward we are going to have those kind of victories every now and then. So whenever we are having an opportunity where we have done decently well, I think we should celebrate. Celebrate in the sense, at least give acknowledgement in the fact saying that it is a medal which we got. I think that is the only thing which we had asked for post the Thomas Cup, right?
See, Prannoy, you will agree. In my personal messages to you, I have said exactly this that every little opportunity needs to be celebrated. And what you are saying, I'm in total agreement. Take cricket.
And one more thing is, one more thing is, my concern was when I'm in Hyderabad, we all are training together. Almost out of 10 players, 7 players are from Hyderabad who are training at the Gobushan Academy. We have a ton of youngsters who are playing here. When they see us, when they see us coming back from a Thomas Cup where we're putting that much of effort, and there is nothing around Thomas Cup which has happened, if nothing has happened, they will think that, okay, this Thomas Cup is not an important tournament. This is what we feel.
So the messaging that goes is negative. That's
The
what.
messaging that goes is very negative, right? And I feel that that shouldn't be the story. It should be very positive. It should be like a emotional connect to the player, saying that okay, if you do well at the Thomas Cup, then there is a big buzz. That means Thomas Cup is a big tournament. And
Please,
obviously, the last 4 to 6 years, as players, as an entire contingent, we are trying to change that itself, right?
no,
Like
I think
as
there is a second dimension that not just buzz about the Thomas Cup, but when a youngster, say Hyderabad, because Gopichand Academy, I was there last week. In fact, I wrote to you on that day of the Thomas Cup only. Jayesh, Gopi, me, we were all together. Now, the point is, if a youngster is watching the IPL and watching Sunriser Hyderabad and the buzz, and watching Thomas Cup, no buzz, he or she will want to play cricket rather than badminton, or for that matter,
yes,
chess, or for that matter, boxing, whichever
yes,
other sport. And that has been a problem of mine.
yeah,
When I keep shouting and writing and talking about multi sport, I know the Prannoy interview will not maybe give me enough numbers compared to, say, a cricket interview, but I don't care. A Prannoy interview for me is hugely important. That is why I requested you short time doing it. Same for Chirag, same for Laksh. When I send six people, now you know what my problem is, Prannoy. The problem is how do we address this? The media manager issue I raised. The second thing, see, in the case of a cricket match, like you said, cricket doesn't hit a peak every year. When is the World Cup? 1983 you won. After that, the World Cup win is 2007, T20. It is not as if we didn't celebrate in the 24 years. We
yeah,
celebrated very small peaks.
yes,
Badminton, a Prannoy has won an Australian Open. A Sindhu has won an X Open. A Badminton Asia Championship and Ayush Shetty has beaten three top 10 players and made the final. A Satvik Chirag has made the final of 1,000 Super Series. Every celebration has to happen. Now, what's the
yes.
way forward? How? Will the players use their social media? Will the players and people like us who have friends bond more and do more? What do you have a solution? Because my solution is the federation should do more. Individual player managers like yourself, I will request people like Rakesh, Tuhin, them to do more. People like us, media, who have voices in the country to do more. The players using their social media to do more. Because collectively this has to happen. And I don't want to be critical and negative because I want the sport to thrive much like you. So, what is the way forward?
I don't know, Boria. Like to be honest, I don't know how it needs to be done because a lot of stakeholders needs to come together for this thing to happen. A sport, if a sport has to grow, it has to be a collective effort from everybody out there. But the only thing which I wanted to, as you told also, saying that probably say Cricket World Cup won their World Cup in '83, and then they won in 2007. Then there was gap, and still everybody enjoyed and everybody celebrated each and every matches of cricket because it was made like that. It was created like that. The entire ecosystem created like that. So it just my request is obviously if we are able to pitch in all the players together in order to make sure that the sport is growing. The sport grew, everybody knew the sport grew from a certain position to a certain position because of certain individuals. Because of certain individuals' performance, it has grown. And from now also, how will you grow as a country is a very big question mark, which always I think about it. We're thinking that what are we going to do in the next 10 years, 10, 15 years? Like, I don't want the situation to be the same, which is right now. I want it to be better going forward. It's
Yes.
not just for the players, it's for the entire ecosystem, or probably somebody like me who wants to come back to the system of badminton and working with the players in the future if I want to. The ecosystem needs to push forward in that way. So I feel it's a collective effort. I as a player, I don't know how things work outside, to be honest, how the media works, uh how the sponsorship thing works. I have no clue. We have only done morning from say morning 7 to 11 we train, we come back, we sleep, and then again we do the same thing the entire week. We don't have time to do go behind all these things and try to rectify the things obviously happening. So the only request when this entire topic came up, my only thing was let's not go out of the topic here. The only thing is let's collectively celebrate a medal so that the juniors feel that it is worth to play this tournament going
100%.
forward, because I feel that we need to represent, because this tournament, Thomas Cup, Sudirman Cup, all these team events, Asian Games team event, all these kind of team events, when it comes to, it is very, very team oriented, and it is where we are playing for the country. We are not getting anything, any rewards individually, to convince everybody to make sure that next time you come and play with us, this kind of an event, we are here to win. We need this kind of a celebration, which is at least a smaller way. Where I remember when we came this time, Gopi sir had an entire felicitation for us in the academy, and then next day we went for lunch. It felt so good for us. Felt that ki, okay, there is somebody who is appreciating what we did the last week, and this is what the only thing which we asked for. We never asked for a prize money or anything of those sort. But people are kind of going out of this topic in the fact, saying that ki, the players want recognition. We are not asking any recognition. We are saying support the sport basically,
No,
so
no,
that
I want to make that clear. None of the players, and I'm in touch with you, I'm in touch with Chirag, I'm in touch with Arjun, I'm in touch with many. Nobody has asked for money. I will put this on record.
yeah, yeah.
Anyone says that the players are asking for money and that is why they are raising their voice, that fellow is saying total nonsense. And I'm putting that very clearly. What the play, I'm in agreement with Prannoy, but where I think we are differing, Prannoy and I are in complete agreement that recognition has to come, otherwise the sport suffers. The future generation suffers, younger players suffer, they will not have the incentive. Where I also want to add is, so what is the way forward? That's what Prannoy says he doesn't know. I
I
think
don't know.
I
I don't
have
know. To
a,
be honest, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know because
I
if
think I have a roadmap, and
yeah,
that's the roadmap I was giving.
I'm not going to comment something which I'm not familiar of, which I'm not which I've not even worked for it. So there are people who are already working for it, and if they try to figure it out, it's good for the sport. But otherwise, this will be a very individualistic sport. Only individual medals would be highlighted eventually, and
Yeah,
then the sport's growth is going to be dependent on that individual's performance. Like how
I
now how Neeraj Chopra has become a big name in the country. It's because of his efforts as an individual. He has able to put consistent performances in the map, and he has been able to get Indian athletics into the map slowly, right? But is it going to sustain over a period of time? I doubt, because Neeraj Chopra might not obviously play for another 20 years. Play
correct.
for another 5 years, yes. After that, what? So we need to get 10 more Neeraj Chopras to make sure that we get the same amount of publicity for an athletics event going forward. So how do we do that? Right. So I'm trying to tell the same thing. So we have a Thomas Cup squad now. 10 years down the line, we should not tell that, okay, we are losing out in the group stage match, which would be so disappointing, right? We have been in that situation. We tried so hard to come out of that group stages itself and the unfortunate thing was we went on to directly win the gold. We didn't stop midway. So now when suddenly a bronze medal comes, people are like now it's not a big news because you have already won a gold.
But that's where I think a sporting culture needs to be inculcated, which people don't understand. That come on, a Grand Slam semi-final or a Grand Slam final is as important as a win. I mean, you need to celebrate effort. To
Yeah.
beat Chinese Taipei with higher ranked players was an incredible achievement on the part of the players, and the way the semi-final was structured, I thought was wrong. There should have been one
And
doubles,
and
and the
and
moment
and
there
and
was one, yeah,
and you guys also know that we were seeded eighth in the entire tournament, which means we are
exceeded.
not, like we are not entitled to be on that podium, right? Only the top four teams are entitled to be on the podium. So we have done better than what we have been asked to. And obviously French was a better team in the singles category. They have had three men singles players in the top 16 of the world.
That
And
is
we had
correct.
one player, and we had one player in the top 16. So if you look at it that way, we have over exceeded what from our current form and scenario was. We have over exceeded what everybody thought of. Even if we had lost in a quarterfinal or a group stage, nobody would have cared, right? But I'm saying we
No,
we
some of us would have, Prannoy.
yes,
I
yes. But
want to put this on
I'm
record.
saying I'm saying there wouldn't be any news coming out then. Like it's going to be a silent tournament, which would have happened. But now when we have won a medal, I'm just a little bit disheartened that people are saying that it's just a bronze medal, right?
No, no,
Yeah. So
I want to be very clear.
I'm just unhappy with that entire situation that it has been told that it's just a bronze medal. on
No,
one of the biggest world stages, which we have never ever like half of the times we have only lost the group stages.
that is
So
correct.
that is why it has been very disheartening for me. And I thought it's very important to tell you the correct intention of what we meant. And our intention is only on the side where we are taking the sport to the next level. And what we can do as individuals, we are trying to do from a team format.
Last question. By the way, just to put it on record, Christo was 4, Lanier was 10, and TJ was I think 16 or
Team,
17.
yeah,
So clearly they had higher rankings. Laksh not playing on form hurt
yeah,
India. I have said this to Chirag and I'm saying this to you. Had it been 2-all with the
yeah,
doubles and had Laksh played, I would have
yeah.
banked on a Prannoy to nail TJ because under pressure, HS Prannoy would have taken that singles out for me. That's what I believe. Did it happen? Counter history is not relevant, but I would have put money on HS Prannoy with his experience, ability to take that out because the China match, for example, Luji, that match was super. Anyway, last question. Now that there is so much chatter, good, bad. Some people have accused you guys. Some people have said, no, it's correct. Some people have blamed cricket, who I think are off the mark. It is not about blaming a sport. At least there is chatter. I think that's good. At least there is focus for whatever reason that this is now being debated in the public platform. Thoughts?
No, I mean, we really didn't want this to be obviously a national news. It just went like that. And as I said, the whole intention was to address that, okay, we did something like this, and going forward, people should know what Thomas Cup is. And the efforts which we did, I think I'm sure Satvik and Chirag told what we did in the 2 weeks to make sure that we play as a team because we play 99% of the time we play as individual
Hmm.
tournaments, right? So, and it is very tough to get the team bonding together. So we had to do a lot of different things. So there is a lot of effort in playing this kind of a team, even all of a sudden, because in between your individual tournament, this comes in between, right? So it is very tough to kind of get the team together, get a lot of things done. Uh, but I'm glad that there has been a discussion, obviously, in whatever ways it has been. And I'm hoping that my message, which I just told you, saying that it is only for the growth of the sport, which we are looking at the entire conversation. And if the sport grows, everybody grows in the ecosystem. It will definitely create more champions in the future. If we need an Olympic champion, we will need 15 members to be out there performing at the top level. We need the numbers out there which can kind of where we where we have more chances to get that gold medal out there. So the only way we can do that is get more kids to play badminton so that going forward we'll have more names who can actually compete with the top 5 top 10 of the worlds, and then we have a more chance of winning at this kind of a major event. So that is the only thing behind this entire conversation, and I hope that everybody understands that and supports us. I think I mean I know that there's been a lot of badminton fans who has been following us, supporting us during the Thomas Cup time. There has been a lot of buzz around Twitter and Instagram where there was a lot of good support going also. So I would say that keep the support coming. I think we really appreciate what you guys have done over the last 6, 7 years. I've been seeing a lot of familiar faces in the last 7, 8 years who have been constantly supporting, including you, who've been constantly writing good things about us. So thank you so much for that. So please support us. I think it's one of those events where uh, we thought that it was a big achievement, but it kind of went a little bit here and there. So yeah,
No, I I do think it is for the better that at least we had this debate. People needed to know. The players needed to voice their discomfort, disappointment, whatever it is, because the Asian Games is coming, and again we will play as a team. All of us will be in Japan. For example, the next time there is the Thomas Cup, I will send somebody to Denmark or whichever part of the world it is. You know my philosophy. My people will travel to support you everywhere. In Japan, we'll all be there. We'll be there to back you guys up, good and bad. Whether you lose or win doesn't matter because ultimately it's a bond between the player and the media. All of us are trying our best to help Indian sport in good and bad. So we will be there. Point is well taken. We collectively need to figure a way whereby the sport improves and the future star, a 10-year-old, a 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, wants to pick up that badminton racket and wants
yep,
to be the next HS
yeah,
product.
yeah.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Well,
Yep,
thank you very, very
thank
much
you
for
so
your
much. Yeah,
appreciate you joining me and we'll catch up soon.